Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Welcome to the course. This is POLI MCS 326, Media and Politics. And of course, I think one of the first things that you'll probably notice about this class is its cross-listed nature, which is a real delight to me. It's really nice to be working at the intersection of two fields. We're going to have students from POLI, we're going to have students from MCS, we're going to have students from all kinds of diverse backgrounds in this class, bringing their sort of ideas and preparation to bear on this content. And I'm really excited for that. I think it's going to be genuinely a very interesting time to be discussing this stuff with you. And with that having been said, I think it's important in this, sort of preamble to the modules, this first module, to just go over a couple of things about the format of the course. Because while I'm very enthusiastic about, the subject matter we're covering, I am aware that this is a little bit different. I know that many students have been doing super well to adapt on the fly to the fully online format that we've been generally subscribing to here at UMBC since the sort of COVID shutdown of last spring. But I wanted to make sure that you were well and familiar and comfortable with the sort of way that the course is going to operate on a weekly basis. So very briefly, I'm just going to run through this workflow for success and talk about, I think, 4 things that are going to really mean that you're going to find this course to be more meaningful and you're going to perform better in the course if you do them. So the first thing is at the beginning of every week, and really by this, I say Monday through Wednesday on this workflow, but really this could be any time after essentially the weekend, anytime after the module content is posted, all the way up until our Wednesday meetings. There's all this asynchronous online content to be kept up with. That includes these videos. Obviously, I'll be doing at least 1 or 2 short videos every week for you to take a look at, which introduces some concepts that I think we'll use in our discussions on the Wednesday meetings. And of course, there's reading. And so the first kind of step 1 in my 4-step plan for you to succeed in the course is to make sure to keep up with that reading. So you'll see that the syllabus lists that reading, and there's an extended bibliography in the back which kind of describes it. There will be direct links to it that you'll see in PDF format in each module. So you don't have to download anything. You don't have to go searching for it online on your own. I've put this all on there for you. This reading is a lot. I'm certainly well aware of that. I know probably many students have looked at the syllabus and been bowled over by how much there is. Really, I think that's because I see this course as possibly being taught in 2 different ways. And one is to get like a reader on media and politics. There's a couple of readers out there that sort of purport to cover the field, and honestly, I don't find them to be all that good. They're pretty limited in what they cover, and the other really big problem is they're not. They don't keep up very well with the state of the field, because this is an incredibly rapidly changing field in political science. It's one where, you'll look, if you look at the bibliography of what I've assigned for this semester, like at least half or more of the stuff we're reading is 2019 to 2020, like publication date. And so this is like really current stuff. And so a lot of those readers don't really cover the topics to the extent that I'd like them to, in terms of keeping up with the trends in the literature. And so the other option really is to expose you to the primary source stuff, like the actual political science research that's being written up to the minute. And that's kind of what I've endeavored to do with these modules. Now, you might come at this and say, I'm really, this looks really daunting. This looks really sort of overwhelming. That's okay. I'm certainly aware of that. And what I'd like to do is just offer you a suggestion, right? As you're going through this and you're looking at these research papers, these articles, try not to think about reading this in order to digest every possible detail of what's written. Try instead to, as much as possible, just distill the big point, the big takeaway of each of these readings. And I think as you're keeping up with it, as you're reading them, try to contribute some notes to yourself, like write down a couple things about what you took away from each of those readings, annotate that, and I think that's going to serve very well as the starting of a study guide for the exam that we'll have later in the semester, because that exam is going to focus very heavily on those readings. So try not to get hung up on all the details. If you see a table with a bunch of crazy numbers and stars and things, safely move past that. Try to distill the gist. Like, what's the main point of these things? Don't get bogged down by the details. And I think that's going, if you keep that in the back of your head, I think that's going to help you throughout the semester stay on top of it. Certainly, the other thing you shouldn't do, in addition to like painstakingly poring over every detail of the reading, is you shouldn't, just drop it and not read it, right? Make sure to at least give every reading a shot, every week. And if you're really confused by it, if you're having a really hard time getting through it, that's fine. Come with your questions, and we'll certainly unpack it in our class discussions. Another way that you could do this, is my point 2 about how to succeed in the course, is to attend my virtual office hours, which are conveniently right before this class on Wednesday, so 1 to 4 p.m. Show up anytime. I'll be in that chat room or in that sort of WebEx space. The link is at the top of the syllabus here. You just go to the syllabus and click that link to open my WebEx platform meeting room, and you can ask any number of questions about the content, and I'll be very happy to provide you with my takes on what you're reading. The other thing is, the third thing that I think is really important for the course, is for you to make every effort to attend as many of these synchronous meetings as possible. Really, I've kind of explained, in large part why I think that's so important just a moment ago. And that's because, again, the reading's very dense, and some of what we're going to be doing in that Wednesday meeting is really breaking it down and figuring out what it all means together. And engaging in discussion that I think is going to really help illuminate some key themes that will be of use to you in the course and beyond. So please come ready to participate, and let me know if you have any sort of conflicts with that meeting, and we will make sure that you get every possible available opportunity to come to those meetings. So yeah, that's, I think, the other really important piece. The last plank, the fourth most important tip here, is to remember to keep up with your journal entries. So if you read the syllabus, I'm not going to go through all of it right now, but if you look at the rest of the syllabus, you'll see that these journal entries are pretty important. They're essentially a way for me to gauge sort of how you're doing, but also a way for you to provide some candid assessment of some big question kind of things in the course, right? Some big questions, some big ideas. You'll see that these journal entries, they're due 1 week from when they are posted. I post them at the end of every class, synchronous class meeting. You have a week to do them. They are totally private, so the only person that's able to see them is me. I know that some people have taken courses where the journal entries are public, and that's not what we're doing in this course. So feel free to be candid. Feel free to tell me, like, I don't know what's going on. I don't understand this piece. I don't understand that piece, but I do think this or that. It's a way, for you to express kind of how you're doing with the content, and for me to get a feel for your comprehension, but also for you to just like give me some of your hot takes, essentially. Give me your assessment of how things stand. These questions are designed, to have no one clear answer. And so as you're doing those journal entries, really try to think about how you feel about what we're learning, and think about whether it squares with your own experience in the world of media and politics. So again, please make sure that you do that short expository response. I've had in the past, a lot of students will fail to keep up with those, and then all of a sudden it's week 14 and they haven't done any of the journal entries, and that's actually like a substantial part of the grade. Could mean the difference between an A or a B, or a B or a C, or whatever. So please just make sure to keep up with those, and you will find yourself in good standing. So altogether, just to review, make sure to keep up with the reading, but don't get too overwhelmed or bogged down by one specific thing. Just try to keep going through it and distill that big picture. Make sure to come to office hours with questions if you feel lost. Come to the class meetings as much as you possibly can, and be prepared to talk and interact and ask questions. And then finally, keep up with the course journal, and you're going to be in a really good position at the end of the semester. So that's just my sort of preamble to the course, the way that this format is going to work this semester. And I really look forward to meeting you on Wednesday and talking through some of these big questions that we have about the world of media and politics. See you soon.